Hello, and thanks for joining us here on another Workman Wisdom video. I'm Rick Geha, and I'm excited to talk to you today. And I know I start all my videos by saying that. I truly am, though, because this is one of my favorite subjects in the whole world, and that is preparing for what's just around the corner. You know what it is. It's 2018. Now, I'm hoping that as you're watching this, you're looking back at 2017 and saying, wow, I had a great year. I had one of my best years ever. Whether you are saying that or you're saying, wow, 2017 wasn't all that great, or it was my worst year ever, or didn't do what I thought I would do, either way, I want you to do this. Put all of that behind you. Today, we're going to talk about something that will help us prepare for 2018, and it's what I call the BHAG, Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal. Now, you know, as a speaker and a coach, and as somebody who sold real estate for almost 37 years, or actually over 37 years, I can tell you that most of us succeed by standing on the shoulders of giants, meaning we're using what we've learned from others. Same with BHAG. I don't even remember where it came from or who said it first, because I'm sure I heard it from some guy who said it 1,000 times before that. So Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal really struck me way back in 2003 when I really started to understand it. So just about 15 years ago. And I got to tell you, it really helped change my perspective on setting up goals and looking at the way I set myself up for the next year. So when you think about your business, a lot of times we are so fearful, and I'll tell you why. Society has set us up, ladies and gentlemen, so that if you set a goal and you don't hit it, society says we're not all that good. We kind of suck. And I tell you that is just how we're raised. I mean, I can remember growing up in the real estate business, and people would purposely set their goal low so that they knew they would hit it. And it seemed unusual to me, and at the same time, I didn't know enough to argue about it. In the nonprofit world, I've helped it through my years in the real estate industry. One of the things I did is work in the nonprofit community. And a lot of times when I'd be on these committees to raise money for these nonprofits, a lot of times they'd set their goals really low because they said, well, we made this much last year, let's set it a little below that so we'll be sure that we hit it. And that's because of this societal thought that if you set a goal and miss it, you're a loser. What if we just change that paradigm completely? In other words, what if we just made a decision in our head that if I set a goal and hit it, the goal was too low? Now that's all that takes is a decision on your part. That's it. Now for me, I've actually done that. From the time that I heard about this in 2003, when I set my goals for my next year, I always set a big, hairy, audacious goal, a scary one that seems completely unreachable in some ways. Now, I do look at it and say, have other people done this before? It'd be like you're a runner. You run up and down the street to get warmed up. You might run around the block a few times and you come home and I did my exercise, and then somebody challenges you one day to climb Mount Everest. And you're like, what, me climb Mount Everest? All I do is run around the block. Well, Mount Everest would be a big, hairy, audacious goal. And think about it. The majority of people that climb Mount Everest or have a goal to climb Mount Everest don't make it up their first time. And yet, here's the truth. If you made it up only halfway up Mount Everest, which I think they call base camp, that at that point you'd be at 0.1% of the highest peaks in the world, and most likely you'd be farther than you'd ever climbed before. Now think about that in your real estate industry and in your business, specifically yours that's watching this right now. What if I set this big, hairy, audacious goal to maybe take home $200,000 or $300,000 or some number that's completely way past anything I've ever done, and I only get there, maybe get 3/4 of the way there, half the way there? How amazing would that be? How could you ever be upset at yourself if you set a big, hairy, audacious goal and where it landed you is further than you've ever been, even if you didn't hit the goal? See, it's a thought process that maybe we're not aware of, maybe that we've never taken into account for how we look at our business for the next year. And you know what? It doesn't matter how much I talk about it. Some of you out there are going to say, that's crazy. I'm never going to do that. I'm going to continue to set my goals low so I can go celebrate and go, I hit my goal. I want us to think bigger. I want us to think outside of the box. I know so many coaches will tell you, what's your goal? And then you tell them and they'll go, double it, right? I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you to look seriously at your goals and say, for 2018, if I want to have that most amazing year ever, what if I set a big, hairy, audacious goal? Way more. Now, I'm going to suggest that when you look at your goal, that it's going to take some math, by the way, that you look at how much money will I take home in 2018. That would be after all of your real estate expenses and before taxes. Let me say that again. Set a big, hairy, audacious goal for how much I will take home in 2018, okay, after all of my real estate expenses and before taxes. This is a great number because a lot of us will say, well, I want to sell this many houses, or I want to gross this much commission, or I want to do, 30 million in volume. This takes away the units, the volume, and the GCI, because very simply it allows you to say, this is what I'm going to take home. And then at the end of the day, isn't that why we're working? Now, everybody's going to do something different with that money, and I hope it's something exciting for you. The bottom line is the take-home pay is really what matters. So start considering that you set this big, hairy, audacious goal for your take-home pay for 2018. Now, I got to tell you, I've got some pretty big, hairy goals for 2018 in many ways. And I do a lot of different things. I sell real estate. I'm a coach. I'm a speaker. I do different things. I'm building up these different these different sources of income. What I want for you is look at where you are in your life and your business and make that decision as to what am I going to do and what am I willing to sacrifice. Because, ladies and gentlemen, to set a big, hairy, audacious goal means doing things in 2018 that you've never done in 2017, or at the very least, doing a lot more of them than you did in 2017. So that's the concept of BHAG. I really want you to understand that clearly. I hope that you'll incorporate it into your business when you're setting goals. Keep in mind that our Workman Wisdom videos are intended to sort of get you going and allow you to go out and seek some more wisdom. Hope you'll use it in your business, and I hope that 2018 is your best year ever.